In TMC rebel MP Sudip Bandyopadhyay, one of the 20 MPs set to merge with the NCPI, has now defended the move, saying that it's in line with the constitutional provisions. He stated that the Constitution and Lok Sabha rules permit such a merger when two-thirds of MPs are involved, and therefore it cannot be termed as a betrayal. Bandyopadhyay added that the question of which is the real TMC will ultimately be decided by the court. Let's quickly listen in before I bring in Abhishek Banerjee on this.
टोटल 20 MPs है, 20 MP लोकसभा का।
ठीक है, लेकिन जिस तरीके से आप लोग एनसीपीआई के साथ जा रहे हैं, सवाल इस बात को लेकर भी उठ रहा है कि लोगों ने आपको चुना टीएमसी के तौर पर, तो ये तो लोगों के साथ धोखा हो गया।
दो तीन अंश जाने का समय वो धोखा नहीं होता है। देश का संविधान वो मान्यता दिया है, लोकसभा मान्यता दिया है कि टू थर्ड में जाओ तो धोखा नहीं, टू थर्ड का कम जाओ तो धोखा जरूर होगा।
All right, let me bring in Abhishek Banerjee. Abhishek Banerjee, as far as the question of which is the real TMC is concerned, how does that even play out now that the rebel MPs have decided to join an entirely different political party?
Yeah, so as far as I understand, I'm not a constitutional expert, but so from what I understand, two-thirds of any party have to go and join some other existing party. They can form a merger. They can't split. Splits are no longer allowed, which used to be the old rule where one-third of the people could just split and go somewhere else. Now they have to merge somewhere else. But there is no such thing that, it has to merge into some really big party. So they have found some small party. I had never really heard of this NCPI before, and I don't think you had heard either. But these two-thirds of the people, they have decided to leave the party and they have decided to join something else. So, they are acting within whatever parameters are there in the constitution, and accordingly, things will take shape. I mean, what I would say here is that, there are a lot of people talking about defection. According to me, the whole idea of defection, first of all, is wrong in this sense that, first of all, we should pay less attention to Bengal and pay attention to another state where there used to be an unstable state government which didn't actually have a majority. And over there, a real split happened and people cross-voted and that party came to power. So maybe people should focus there instead of Bengal, where BJP has a completely comfortable majority. But beyond that, what I would say is that this whole idea of defection, I mean, if you actually look at the constitution, our entire discourse around it is wrong. We keep saying people have voted for you on this party symbol, that party symbol. Now, I should point out that till 1985, also this country was running. And the word political party never actually appeared in the constitution until I think in 1984 or 1985, until Rajiv Gandhi came to power. And there was no such thing as any anti-defection law or all. So what happened in 1985 was actually a takeover of the power of the legislature by the executive, where this whole anti-defection thing was brought in and political parties were given the power to control the votes of their legislatures. See, if I can tell you how to vote, it is not a vote anymore. Right. So what Rajiv Gandhi did at that point was an extremely anti-democratic and highly anti-constitutional measure. And then since then, this whole idea of defection and all this has been created. But that is a completely separate debate. I'm sure whatever is going on, the constitutional experts, they have taken care of it. They have found some party. They have found some loophole. This is how politics has always been done in India, and it will continue like this.
All right. Dr. Datta, last word with you before we move on. I want to understand from your perspective as well, when the rebel faction now says which is the real TMC, how does that even play out? Because they have decided not to fight that legal battle. For example, in the Shiv Sena, the battle went to the courts, and ultimately we've seen that Eknath Shinde won that battle and he got that symbol. But once you've decided that you no longer want to be associated with the TMC, that you've joined a separate political party, then why are the rebel MPs still trying to somewhere maintain, in a way, their sway over the TMC, or try to portray to the public that we are the true TMC and it's no longer Mamata Banerjee?
I mean, the faction of 20 MPs who have come out of TMC, they had three options with them. First was like to sit in the parliament as a rebel group of the TMC, and the speaker would have allocated a separate, row for them. And because they had announced their support for the NDA, so they would have sat with the ruling dissension. That's one. The second one was, and in that case, the speaker would have taken a final call on this before giving his final verdict on this. The second option for them was to either merge with the Bharatiya Janata Party or with any other political party. They chose to merge with this small registered party of Bengal, and they have joined that party. That is the second option which they chose. The third one was to go to the court. Now, if they would have gone to the court, the honorable court, and whether to the High Court or the Supreme Court, the decision which was given by the Honorable Supreme Court in relation to the Eknaths in the PIL, that would have applied, and in that case, the rebel group would have got this symbol as well as the bank account and all other fixed assets and liquid assets of the Trinamool Congress. So whether they go to the court tomorrow or not, that option is still open for them, and I believe in future they might take a course towards that, because ultimately the fight would actually land up with who owns the symbol of the party. So that's one. The faction led by Trinamool Congress of Mamata Banerjee, they are saying that they have violated the 10th schedule of the Constitution, but they don't understand, or they just try to intentionally wash out the 9th schedule of the Constitution and the SR Bomai case. The SR Bomai case had made it very clear. It was a historic decision of the constitutional bench of the Honorable Supreme Court, in which 9 judges had given that decision in a constitutional bench. They had said it very clear, categorically, that the split would be legitimate if 2/3 MLAs or MP from that party works out, and in that the anti-detection law
Yes.
would not apply on them. So in this case, they have done this. The second one is in relation to the 9th schedule of the Constitution. The 9th schedule of the Constitution also makes it very clear that if
Okay.
a 70% or 2/3 percentage of a party walks out from the original party, then that is valid and that is justified, and it is parliamentary wise and legally acceptable.
Okay, all
So
right.
the-
Dr. S. Datta, thank you so much. Abhishek Banerjee, thank you so much for joining us on the broadcast. We have some important news now.